As you begin to harness the power of your mind, you'll realize that becoming mentally strong is not about eliminating struggle. It's about transforming the way you respond to it. Every moment of self-doubt, every fear that arises, and every setback that threatens to shake your confidence is an opportunity to strengthen your resolve. The journey to becoming unshakable isn't about avoiding difficulty, it's about embracing it as part of your evolution. Buddhism teaches that suffering is not something to run from, but something to understand. The reason suffering feels unbearable is because we resist it. We believe it shouldn't be happening, that life should be easier, or that we're somehow failing when things don't go our way. But when we change our perception, when we start to see difficulties as stepping stones rather than barriers, we reclaim our power. Instead of being consumed by suffering, we learn from it, grow from it, and become stronger because of it. A crucial step in this process is learning to sit with discomfort. We live in a world that constantly encourages distraction. Whenever we feel stress, sadness, or anxiety, we seek immediate relief through entertainment, social media, or other escapes. But the more we run from discomfort, the weaker we become. True strength comes from facing your emotions head-on, from sitting in stillness and allowing yourself to feel what arises without resistance. The more you do this, the less control your emotions have over you. You begin to see them for what they are, temporary experiences that come and go, not defining aspects of who you are. Meditation is a powerful tool for developing this ability. When you sit in silence and observe your thoughts, you begin to notice the patterns of your mind. You start to see how easily your mind clings to negativity, how it creates unnecessary fears, and how it holds on to things that no longer serve you. With time, you learn to detach from these thoughts, realizing that they don't control you. You control them. You become the observer rather than the victim of your own mind. Through meditation, you cultivate the ability to remain calm even in difficult situations. Imagine facing a crisis with complete clarity, not being swept away by panic or fear. This level of inner stability is not something reserved for monks or spiritual masters. It is something you can develop through practice and discipline. By strengthening your mind, you gain the ability to remain centered, no matter what life throws your way. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding with wisdom. Beyond meditation, another key practice in mental mastery is self-discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Without it, your mind remains in a state of chaos, easily distracted and controlled by fleeting emotions. With discipline, you gain the ability to direct your focus, stay committed to your goals, and overcome challenges with resilience. Self-discipline begins with small, consistent actions. It's easy to set grand goals, but true progress comes from the small steps you take every single day. It could be as simple as waking up on time, sticking to a routine, or following through on commitments even when you don't feel like it. These small acts of discipline compound over time, reshaping your character and strengthening your willpower. One of the best ways to develop self-discipline is through habit stacking, attaching new habits to existing routines. For example, if you want to cultivate mindfulness, you can attach a short meditation session to your morning routine. If you want to build resilience, you can commit to doing one thing each day that challenges you. The key is to make these actions non-negotiable. Discipline is not about motivation, it's about commitment. Motivation fades, but discipline keeps you moving forward. In Buddhism, self-discipline is closely linked to the practice of right effort. This means directing your energy toward things that support your growth while letting go of distractions that weaken your focus. It's about being intentional with your time and energy, choosing activities that align with your higher purpose rather than indulging in fleeting pleasures that offer no real fulfillment. A common challenge people face when developing discipline is the fear of failure. They start strong, but give up the moment they make a mistake or miss a day. But failure is not a sign to stop. It's part of the process. Buddhism teaches that everything is impermanent, including failure. Just because you fall short today doesn't mean you're incapable. Instead of seeing setbacks as defeats, see them as opportunities to refine your approach. The key to overcoming failure is self-compassion. Many people mistake self-discipline for self-punishment, believing they must be harsh with themselves to succeed. But true discipline comes from a place of self-respect, not self-criticism. When you miss a day or slip into old habits, don't waste time beating yourself up. Simply acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward. The more you practice self-compassion, the easier it becomes to stay committed to your journey. As you develop self-discipline, you also begin to cultivate unwavering self-confidence. Confidence isn't about arrogance or pretending to be perfect. It's about knowing your own strength and trusting in your ability to overcome challenges. True confidence comes from experience. The more you prove to yourself that you can handle difficult situations, the more you trust in your own resilience. Confidence is built through action. You don't wait until you feel confident to take action. You take action, and confidence follows. If you've ever hesitated to pursue a goal because you didn't feel ready, understand this. No one ever feels completely ready. The people who succeed are not the ones who waited until they felt confident. They are the ones who took action despite their doubts. One way to cultivate confidence is through visualization. Every morning, spend a few moments visualizing yourself succeeding. See yourself facing challenges with calmness and strength. Imagine overcoming obstacles with ease and accomplishing your goals with determination. The mind cannot distinguish between reality and imagination, so the more you visualize success, the more your brain begins to accept it as reality. Another way to build confidence is by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you set a goal and follow through, you send a message to your subconscious mind that you are reliable and capable. On the other hand, every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken that trust. Confidence isn't something you are born with, it's something you earn by showing up for yourself again and again. As you integrate mindfulness, self-discipline, and confidence into your life, you will begin to notice a profound shift. The things that once triggered anxiety or fear no longer have the same power over you. Challenges that once felt insurmountable now feel like opportunities for growth. Your mind, once scattered and easily overwhelmed, becomes focused and clear. You stop looking for external validation because you've cultivated an inner strength that doesn't depend on outside circumstances. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and persistence. But every step you take brings you closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. The person who is not controlled by fear. The person who does not give up when things get hard. The person who faces life with courage, clarity, and an unshakable belief in their own strength. Through Buddhist teachings, we learn that the mind is our greatest ally or our greatest enemy. It all depends on how we train it. With practice, you can rewire your mind to work for you instead of against you. You can build resilience, cultivate self-discipline, and develop a level of confidence that allows you to thrive no matter what comes your way. As you continue on this path of mastering your mind, one of the most important lessons you will learn is that true strength is not about avoiding discomfort, but about embracing it. The world constantly teaches us to seek comfort, to avoid pain, and to pursue only what feels good. But this pursuit of constant ease weakens the mind. Growth never happens in comfort. It happens in challenge, in struggle, in pushing beyond what you once thought was possible. Buddhism teaches that suffering is an inevitable part of life, but the way we respond to it determines our experience. Most people resist suffering, which only amplifies it. They fight against their circumstances, wishing things were different, and in doing so, they create even more mental distress. But there is another way. Instead of resisting suffering, you can learn to face it directly, to see it for what it is, and to transform it into fuel for growth. The first step is shifting your mindset about hardship. Instead of seeing obstacles as something to be feared or avoided, begin to see them as opportunities. Every difficulty you face is a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When you stop seeing pain as the enemy, it loses its power over you. You realize that discomfort is not something to escape from, it is something to embrace. One powerful way to cultivate this mindset is through voluntary discomfort. This means intentionally stepping into situations that challenge you, that push you beyond your limits, so that you become accustomed to hardship. In Buddhism, monks and practitioners often engage in practices that cultivate mental toughness, such as fasting, long periods of meditation, or exposure to difficult conditions. These practices are not about self-punishment, but about training the mind to remain strong in the face of difficulty. You can apply this principle to your own life in simple ways. Start by doing something that makes you slightly uncomfortable every day. Wake up earlier than usual, take a cold shower, push yourself harder in your workouts, or practice stillness in moments of stress. By exposing yourself to controlled discomfort, you teach your mind that you are capable of enduring more than you think. Over time, this mental toughness extends to every area of your life. When real challenges arise, you face them with confidence rather than fear. But embracing discomfort is only one part of the equation. You must also learn the art of detachment. One of the biggest sources of suffering in life is attachment. Attachment to outcomes, to people, to possessions, to ideas of who we think we should be. When you attach your happiness to external things, you become vulnerable. If circumstances change, if people disappoint you, if life does not go as planned, you suffer. Buddhism teaches that true freedom comes from letting go. Letting go does not mean not caring, it means not clinging. It means doing your best, putting in effort, and then releasing control over the outcome. It means loving without possessing, striving without obsessing, and accepting that everything in life is temporary. Think about the last time you felt frustrated or disappointed. Chances are that pain came from an unmet expectation. You wanted something to go a certain way, and when it didn't, you suffered. Now imagine if instead of clinging to expectations, you had simply accepted reality as it was. The pain would have been lessened. This is the power of detachment. It allows you to remain calm and steady no matter what happens around you. To practice detachment, start small. The next time you find yourself feeling frustrated or upset, pause and ask yourself, what am I clinging to? What expectation am I holding on to that is causing me pain? Once you identify it, practice letting it go. Remind yourself that you cannot control everything, and that is okay. Trust that life is unfolding as it should, and your only job is to meet each moment with presence and clarity. Another crucial aspect of mental mastery is developing unwavering focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Our minds are constantly pulled in different directions, making it difficult to concentrate on what truly matters. But without focus, progress is impossible. Focus is the ability to direct your attention and energy toward a single task, free from distraction and doubt. It is the key to success in any area of life. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of single-pointed concentration. training the mind to focus fully on one thing at a time. This practice is called samadhi, and it is one of the essential elements of mental discipline. A scattered mind is a weak mind. A focused mind is a powerful force. One way to develop focus is through meditation. When you sit in stillness and focus on your breath, you are training your mind to resist distractions. At first, your thoughts will wander. That is natural. But each time you bring your focus back to your breath, you strengthen your ability to concentrate. Over time, this ability extends beyond meditation into your daily life. You become more present in conversations, more engaged in your work, and more aware of your surroundings. Beyond meditation, another way to sharpen your focus is by eliminating distractions. Create an environment that supports concentration. Turn off notifications when working. Set specific times to check emails and social media, and practice deep work, uninterrupted periods of focused effort. The more you cultivate this ability, the more productive and effective you become. But mental strength is not just about discipline and focus. It is also about emotional mastery. Too often, people let their emotions control them, reacting impulsively rather than responding wisely. Anger, fear, and anxiety take over, leading to regretful decisions and unnecessary suffering. But emotions are not the problem. It is our relationship to them that matters. Buddhism teaches that emotions are like waves. They come and go. You cannot stop them from arising, but you can choose how you respond. Instead of being swept away by emotions, you can learn to observe them with detachment. When anger arises, instead of acting on it immediately, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this emotion helping me or harming me? Will acting on this feeling bring me peace or suffering? The more you practice this pause, the more control you gain over your reactions. Emotional mastery also means transforming negative emotions into positive energy. When you feel fear, instead of letting it paralyze you, use it as motivation to take action. When you feel anger, channel it into something productive. Emotions are just energy. Your job is to direct them in ways that serve you rather than harm you. Finally, mental mastery requires self-awareness. You must know yourself deeply, your patterns, your triggers, your weaknesses, and your strengths. Without self-awareness, you will continue to repeat the same mistakes and fall into the same cycles of suffering. But with awareness, you gain the power to change. Self-awareness comes from reflection. Take time each day to examine your thoughts and actions. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where did I struggle? How can I improve? This practice of self-inquiry keeps you aligned with your growth and ensures that you are always moving forward. As you integrate these practices into your life, embracing discomfort, practicing detachment, sharpening your focus, mastering your emotions, and deepening self-awareness, you will notice a profound shift. You will no longer be controlled by fear, distraction, or emotional turmoil. Instead, you will stand firm, unshaken by the chaos of the world. This is the path to true mental strength. It is not an easy path, but it is the path to freedom. And with each step forward, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. As you continue to strengthen your mind, you'll begin to notice that the things that once controlled you, fear, doubt, and distraction, start to lose their grip. You are no longer a victim of your emotions or circumstances. Instead, you become the master of your own experience. But mastering your mind is not just about discipline and focus. It's also about cultivating an inner state of peace that cannot be shaken by external events. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through the practice of equanimity. Equanimity is the ability to remain calm and balanced, no matter what is happening around you. It is the understanding that life is full of ups and downs, and that neither success nor failure defines you. When you develop equanimity, you stop being reactive, and instead, you learn to respond to life with wisdom and patience. Buddhism teaches that suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our attachment to how we think things should be. When something goes wrong, we resist it, and this resistance creates suffering. But when we accept things as they are and remain steady in our mindset, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. This doesn't mean we don't take action, it simply means we do so from a place of clarity rather than emotional turbulence. To cultivate equanimity, start by observing your reactions to daily situations. When something unexpected happens, such as a delay, a rude comment, or a setback, notice your immediate response. Do you feel anger, frustration, anxiety? Instead of reacting automatically, take a deep breath and remind yourself that this moment, like all moments, will pass. Ask yourself, is this worth disturbing my peace? The more you practice this pause, the more you train your mind to remain steady in all situations. Another essential part of mental mastery is learning to direct your thoughts. Your thoughts create your reality. If your mind is constantly filled with self-doubt and negative expectations, your life will reflect that. But if you train your mind to focus on solutions, possibilities, and inner strength, you will naturally attract a more empowered reality. One way to rewire your thinking is through the practice of conscious reframing. Reframing is the ability to take any situation and shift the way you interpret it. For example, instead of thinking, "I failed, so I'm not good enough," you can think, "This failure is teaching me what I need to improve." Instead of saying, "Life is unfair," you can say, "Life is challenging me to grow." This simple shift in perspective transforms obstacles into opportunities and keeps you in a state of progress rather than defeat. To make this a habit, practice catching negative thoughts as soon as they arise. When you notice a self-defeating belief, pause and challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or holding me back? Then consciously choose a more empowering thought. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes, and over time, your entire outlook on life shifts. But mental mastery is not just about controlling your thoughts. It is also about strengthening your willpower. Willpower is the force that allows you to stay committed to your goals despite obstacles and temptations. It is what separates those who give up from those who persist and achieve great things. Buddhism teaches that willpower, like any muscle, can be strengthened through consistent practice. One of the best ways to build willpower is by setting small challenges for yourself and following through. This could be as simple as waking up at a set time every day, sticking to a meditation routine, or completing a task you've been avoiding. Each time you overcome resistance and push through discomfort, you prove to yourself that you are in control. And the more you exercise this mental muscle, another way to strengthen willpower is through delayed gratification. We live in a world that encourages immediate pleasure, instant entertainment, quick rewards, and fast solutions. But true success and mastery come from the ability to delay gratification in pursuit of something greater. Train yourself to resist impulses that do not serve your higher purpose. When you feel the urge to procrastinate or indulge in distractions, remind yourself of your long-term goals. The ability to say no to short-term comfort in favor of long-term growth is a defining trait of mental strength. As you build your willpower, you will also develop self-trust. Self-trust is the belief that you can rely on yourself to follow through on your commitments and overcome any challenge. Without self-trust, doubt creeps in, and doubt is the enemy of progress. But when you consistently prove to yourself that you can take action despite fear, that you can stay disciplined even when it's hard, you develop an unshakable confidence in your own abilities. To deepen your self-trust, keep promises to yourself. If you say you will do something, do it. If you set a goal, follow through. Each small act of integrity strengthens your belief in yourself. Over time, this belief becomes so strong that no external setback can shake it. You know, deep down, that you are capable of overcoming anything. Along with willpower and self-trust, one of the most essential qualities for mental mastery is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to keep going even when things don't go as planned. Life will test you. There will be failures, disappointments, and challenges that push you to your limits. But what defines you is not what happens to you, it's how you respond. Buddhism teaches that resilience comes from understanding impermanence. Nothing in life is permanent, neither success nor failure, neither joy nor pain. Everything is constantly changing, and when you accept this, you stop getting stuck in temporary setbacks. You realize that just as a storm eventually clears, so too will your difficulties. You develop the ability to adapt, to rise after every fall, and to see obstacles as part of the journey rather than the end of the road. One way to build resilience is to shift your relationship with failure. Instead of seeing failure as something negative, see it as feedback. Every failure holds a lesson, a piece of wisdom that can make you stronger. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? The most successful people in history are not those who never failed. They are those who refused to let failure define them. They used it as fuel to come back stronger. Another way to strengthen resilience is to cultivate a sense of purpose. When you have a deep, meaningful reason behind what you do, setbacks don't discourage you, they motivate you. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is my higher purpose? When you connect to a purpose greater than yourself, you gain the inner strength to keep going, no matter what. As you integrate these lessons into your life, equanimity, reframing, willpower, self-trust, and resilience, you create a mindset that is truly unshakable. You no longer react impulsively to challenges. You respond with wisdom. You no longer let negative thoughts control you. You direct them toward empowerment. You no longer crumble under failure. You rise from it stronger than before. Mental mastery is not something you achieve in a single moment. It is a lifelong practice. But with each day, with each challenge faced, and with each fear overcome, you move closer to becoming the strongest version of yourself. The version that does not waver in the face of difficulty. The version that stands firm, no matter what life throws your way. As you continue to cultivate mental mastery, you begin to realize that true strength is not about resisting life's difficulties, but about flowing with them. Strength does not mean never feeling fear, never experiencing doubt, or never facing setbacks. It means developing the wisdom to navigate these experiences with grace, knowing that you are always growing, always evolving, and always capable of rising again. One of the most powerful ways to solidify your mental strength is to live with intention. Too many people move through life on autopilot, reacting to circumstances instead of creating their own path. But when you live with intention, you take control of your destiny. You decide what kind of person you want to be, what kind of life you want to create, and what actions will lead you there. Buddhism teaches that intention shapes our reality. Every action, no matter how small, is a reflection of your inner world. If your intentions are rooted in fear, avoidance, or self-doubt, your life will reflect that. But if your intentions are rooted in clarity, purpose, and self-discipline, you will build a life of meaning and strength.